Thank you for letting us get a chance to know you a little bit. I understand that you have a sword hanging in your office that it has a name. Yeah. Can you give me the background
it's not hanging in the office yet. It should be. You know, when I was sworn in as Speaker of the Florida House, or actually designated as the nominee by the Republicans to be Speaker, Jeb Bush presented me
in the
with a
Florida
sword.
legislature.
In the Florida legislature. And so Jeb Bush, a few months earlier, when we were working on an issue together that was going to be some difficulty, he said, you know, we're going to unleash Chang. And I said, well, what is that? And he described Chang as some sort of mystical conservative warrior. So that was the sort of Chang that he presented to us. And so it's a sentimental thing for us, but it's funny.
So you have a sword named Chang.
Well, the sword's name is not Chang. It belongs to something. Obviously, Chang doesn't exist. But
Gotcha. And I understand you're a huge Dolphins fan.
Yeah, it's been a sad few years.
No one can talk to you while the games are on?
They can talk to me about the game. Depends if they're winning or losing, of course. But yeah, you know, that's something I picked up at a very young age. One of my great childhood memories is going to the games with my dad and watching it on television. So I still retain that, even through the tough times.
You used to tweet a lot. You tell me that you've kind of dialed it back a little. Are you sort of a a geek about? Do you need the latest iPad, and are you sort of enthralled?
I don't have the latest. I actually have the first iPad. I'm still using that one.
It's time to change that.
I know. But I do have an iPhone. I'm pretty Apple-oriented in this stuff. I don't know if I'm a gadget person as much as some other people are, but I do like to be up to speed on the latest technology because I think whoever has the technological edge, whether it's in business or in politics, has the high ground. So, yeah.
You've also tweeted from time to time about your taste in music. What's on your since you're an Apple freak, what's on your iPod right now?
Well, you know, I am a hip hop fan from especially '90s hip hop. Some of the modern stuff has changed, although one of my things I've been discovered is that I'm a fan of Nicki Minaj, who's one of the hip hop artists today. But she's not just a rapper; she also sings in her album. So, and then we have a local artist named Pitbull as well, who I know that sounds like an interesting name, but he's actually very talented. And he just involved in the soundtrack for Men in Black, so we're proud of him.
I think I know that, actually.
Yeah.
Randomly, I do happen to know that. Tell me your first political memory.
My first political memory probably was the '80 convention when Kennedy challenged Carter. And then afterwards, and then the Reagan convention as well. So the '80s was kind of the time when I became aware. I document a lot of this in my book, but my grandfather was a huge Reagan fan.
And you also had somewhat of a role in the Dole campaign.
I did, and so did you. You were covering them here, and I think they were staying in Ball Harbor. He had an apartment here, and I was one of the guys that worked on the ground for the team. The advance crew, I drove the media van. I think we drove you around one time when you were covering them here. And then ultimately I landed a job running the Dole campaign in South Florida, and that was a great experience.
And finally, I have to ask you your favorite Cuban food.
My favorite Cuban food is something called vaca frita. It translates fried cow. But it basically is shredded, meat that is grilled, and it's hard to describe it. It's really good. I'll send you some.
Okay. Does it go on a bun, or do you just
No. I mean, you could, but I mean, you usually eat it with rice and beans, so that's my favorite food.
Thank you for giving us a chance to get to know you.
Thank you.